Hey, it's Mike here from Aquatic Creations, just getting you a quick video on this tank here. Like I had mentioned I would in the messages. Just gonna kind of go top to bottom here and get you some of those details that we were discussing. So you can see on the back here, and again keep in mind too, the tank, this is just kind of after it was taken down and brought directly to the store. There had been no cleaning, so there's still some algae on the sides. In fact, I was going to say I'm fairly certain. Usually Jarrett did the service on this tank, so I saw it infrequently, but I'm fairly certain that somewhere on this side panel that there was a slight scratch. Maybe it was like a short. I can't remember. I feel like I had seen that at some point. This whole side, there was a huge plating Montipora coral, and this is a remnant of it here that Jarrett. Oh, well, I was gonna say Jarrett couldn't get it off, but now that it's dried out, I don't know. Maybe we can tap at that a little bit more. But that's okay. There's that. So that came right off. Now, that Montipora was like a big kind of vase. It was gorgeous up here, but it shaded this side. So if I'm remembering correctly, that little kind of scratch was not noticeable, but I feel like I'd seen it there. There may have been a couple of other blemishes somewhere along the front panel of the tank. I tried to look for those ahead of time before recording this, but I don't. I wasn't able to locate those. So I mean, that may present itself a little nicer. Sorry, I guess nicer isn't the way to say describe it, a scratch, but that may show up a little bit easier rather when the tank is cleaned up. In fact, I had thought that I had found a scratch, and it turned out to just be kind of like a streak, basically like a water spot, and I wiped at it and it came off, so that wasn't a scratch. But anyways, the panels are in pretty good condition. And you know, a little bit of like coral and algae. This stuff here, internal, because this was run as a reef tank. This is where the circulation pump was. It was a gyre, and that was in between the magnets, so that'll come right off with a razor blade, as would any of this cyanobacteria. I'm sorry, not cyanobacteria, the coral and algae rather. The overflow box might be a little bit different story because this is acrylic, so you can't really take a blade to it per se, or at least not a metal razor blade. You can soak that with some vinegar and then hit it with plastic to get that up. And then down into the overflow box here, you can see some old tube worms, more coral and algae, some of those little white specks that come from, you know, like barnacles or whatever that kind of grow over time. We've got one drain on the left, one drain on the right, and then in the middle is where the return had come up through. And then there's this U cut out here for the return pipe. Like we used a lock line for that, and that's how we returned water back to the aquarium. So that's actually, I'm sorry. Let me show you the silicone here. A couple of things I forgot to mention. So the silicone beads are looking good. So far as I can tell, they look pretty solid and pretty well intact. Again, it's a Planet Aquariums. These are very well built aquariums in the first place. So you get those, can't really see it at the bottom because of the sand, but the silicone in the bottom is even better protected because it's underneath sand. And then up here, this is something that way back when we had the tank built, we had asked them to put in. These are siliconed in. It's like a trim piece where the original owner had, we had some glass panels that went up here that he used for a little bit, and then he decided to switch over to the screen top, which it's a Red Sea screen top that we had just kind of custom cut to fit on top, and it just rests on top. So when he had company over, he would just take the top right off of it, and then of course when he wasn't, just so the fish wouldn't jump out and such, the cover would rest on the top of the aquarium. So then I think that covers the tank itself. Looking at the stand here, stand is in pretty good shape. We've got a couple of minor scores. It's like a little scratch there. There was a couple of bare spots. Oh yeah, wear right here in the front. This is where as well, right up against, you kind of tend to get that when occasionally when water kind of trickles down, you'll see a little bit of that come in. And on this corner I found some as well. That feels a little bit rough, so maybe a little bit of chipping there in that corner. And then one thing I did notice too is the laminate right here coming up a little bit. So yeah, I don't know, that may be able to be like glued down or something. So yeah, just pointing out some of the stuff on the tank and the stand. And then as we get into the stand itself, you can see there's some rust on the hardware, but the door is solid. Everything moves nice and easy on that. Both doors nice and solid. Everything moves nice and easy. Sorry, I've got a fixture right behind me. That's why I'm kind of trying to squeeze in between here. Not getting as good as I would like to. And then underneath here, I kind of stuffed the sumps in the ATO underneath, so it's you can't quite see the bottom, but it's a solid bottom. And this sump was resting full of water right on that base there. We had a piece of styrofoam underneath as a cushion. And then same thing with the ATO reservoir over on this side. So stands in good shape, nice and solid. A little bit of salt creep and stuff down there. I mean, we can like get that all vacuumed out. That's not a problem. Trying to think if there's anything else of note. You can see the cutouts there where the plumbing comes through for the overflow box. A couple of screws in there where we had different things hung in there for like controllers for the lighting system, auto top off, so on and so forth. But yeah, other than that, looks to be in good shape. So definitely I'm going to send this over to you in a few minutes, and let me know if you have any questions, anything that I may have kind of missed as to what you would have been looking for in the video, any pictures, whatever the case may be. I'm happy to get that and send it over to you. But yeah, all these panels, things that I typically tend to look for with rimless tanks, no chips, nice and clean all the way around on all these corners, no issues. Corners are all nice and clean, no chips, no fractures. One owner, one previous owner, just him and his daughter. You know, no, wasn't like there was like crazy chaos going on like in my house. I have 6 kids, so it's not like things were getting tossed at the tank and whatnot. It was a pretty safe environment for the tank to be in. So, but yeah, again, if you have any questions, anything else that I might have missed that you'd be interested in seeing on this, let me know. I'll get it to you. And that's about all I can think of at the moment. So I will send this over, and we will wait to hear from you. Take care.